Today I'm working on a little project I've wanted to do for a long time. As many of you already know, I love archery, and so I want to build an archery range and set it up at one of my farms, and I am going to build it out of old carpeting, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's easy to do, well, a little time consuming, but inexpensive, and the beauty of it, I can leave them hanging outside for years, and the weather isn't going to bother me. Okay, so let's get started. All I needed was a bunch of old carpeting I found at a carpeting store. They were going to throw it away anyway. Gave it to me. You need a tape measure and a cutting knife, probably a fair number of blades, replacement blades. But I have set this up. I'm using a 2x12 as my base, and I've set it up to cut it to 40 inches. I tried bigger, and the target becomes really, really heavy and unwieldy. And I also tried not to do it without a lot of dimension to it, meaning I was kind of sloppy, and that didn't work very well either. So I devised this scheme of things. I've measured out both boards, and it measures to 40 inches, and all I do is cut it, throw the scrap away, pretty decent pile of it, and make enough of these. These are 12 inches by 40 inches long. I'm going to make a stack about 3 foot tall. I'm going to compress it using these same 2x12s. I'm going to drill holes in them, put an all-thread rod through it, put this one on top, tighten it down, and make it so that it's dense enough that the arrow won't go through. I think it's going to work really, really well. And I just love the idea that this will last me 5 or 10 years out in the open, and I'm not going to have to put it back up. I'll be able to walk out there, enjoy myself, start shooting arrows, and have a good time. And the target's also big enough that out of a decent range, or a long range, like 60 to 80 yards, it's going to be big enough I have a little room for air. I kind of need it, even though I've shot a bow for a long time. All right, I'm going to finish this project up now. I've got my boards, 2x12, 4 foot long. I've got my strap. This is my tie-down strap with a ratchet on it that is going to allow me to compress the carpeting so that it has the density to stop an arrow from going through. I need a wrench to fit my all-thread rod. So those of you that don't know what an all-thread rod, it's a continuously threaded rod, and I don't know how much I'm going to need to compress it, so I wanted that. Nuts, washers, a wrench to fit the nuts, a drill, and a drill bit slightly larger than the all-thread rod. I'm going to drill 2 holes in each end on each board, and then I'm going to put the carpet on top of this and start compressing it with the strap. And when the strap gets down tight enough, I'll put the bolts in, and it'll be finished. About 2 hours worth of work for a target that will last for years. No magic to this. I'm just bringing it up 1.5 inches, and then 2 inches in, and drilling a hole. So I want you to see how I've laid out the strap and the base board. The strap is completely underneath the board, extended out. I'm going to need approximately 15 foot of strap to wrap all the way around the board, the carpeting, and the top board. So that's really important. If you don't do this, it's really hard to get it compressed. So I'm going to show you how to final assemble. I've laid it out on the floor. I've put my frame of 2x12s on both ends. On this end, I've already put in the drill rod. I've compressed it with my strap slightly so that I can get the drill rod in, because the whole thing was about 4 foot long and my drill rod is 3 foot long. So now I'm going to show you how I'm compressing it on the other side, and it's exactly the same as I did on the first side, and it's going to be almost done. So this is my binder strap. I'm using it to create force to tie it down, and you can see it compressing this side. I'll get out of the way so you can see it a little bit better. I think the drill rods are long enough now. So now, put the drill rod in from this end. Maybe I'll do it from the other end. So now one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to beat on the end of this, but I don't want to beat up my threads. So I'm going to leave my bolt just bare. It's almost flush, but just not quite. So I'm going to tap on this to get it into this hole down here. Perfect. I think I'll move it back just a little bit to make it equal with the other side. Now do the same thing with the other thread, all thread rod.
Almost flush, but not quite, so it'll be a thread.
Okay, I've tightened it up. The boards have a little curve to them. They're tight enough. It'd be really hard to get the carpeting out of there. I guess we'll know pretty soon if I got them tight enough, because if I lift up on this and they fall out, obviously it wasn't tight enough. But it's pretty tight. I've compressed this probably a good foot. So I'm going to guess this weighs 150 pounds, maybe more. And I'm going to lift it up and let's see what happens. Awesome. Maybe not 150 pounds, but it's pretty darn heavy, and it is really nice. This is going to be a great target. It's going to last me a long time. It was really inexpensive. I probably have $25 in this, and I'm going to hang this out on a tree and leave it there for years, and I'll be able to walk out of my house, go shooting. So I hope you've watched this, or I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode of Working with Ward. I've enjoyed doing it, and I've enjoyed showing you how. It's a pleasure. Thank you.